How's everything?
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. How are you?
How's everything?
Things are good. Thank you. How are things with you?
All good, all good. Thank you. It is an honor to have you with us.
It's an honor to be here as well.
Thank you. First, tell us more about yourself and what inspired you to enter the gaming industry.
Uh, I entered the gaming industry through acting.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one I had done was a game called LA Noire.
Mm-hmm. I remember that game.
And yeah, and they used the casting director, I believe, was the casting director from an American TV series called Mad Men,
Mm-hmm.
that was quite popular in the States. And that's how I got onto that game. And then that game led to Battlefield Hardline
Mm-hmm.
and then led to God of War.
Okay, so how did you know about the God of War series?
I didn't. I don't have a gaming background.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't know the world at all. And as I said, I kind of got to know it. So through the first one I did, and then I just got an audition. I wasn't familiar with the God of War series at all. Um, and I knew they were reinventing it, so I didn't want to go back and look because I thought, okay, this is a fresh start, so I want to come in with fresh eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just got this audition to play this
Mm-hmm.
artisan dwarf who's extremely
Mm-hmm.
homophobic. And so that's what I knew going into it, and of course then realized what a huge
Mm-hmm.
franchise and world and how beloved it is by the gamers, and went from there.
Okay, so is any specific part in Sindri's dialogue or speech that didn't make it in the final game?
Oh, that's a great question. Was there any dialogue that did not make it into the game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe so. I think by the time we got to shoot, that team at Santa Monica Studios,
Mm-hmm.
they knew exactly what they wanted to do, the story they wanted to tell,
Mm-hmm.
and they had gone over it a lot. The only thing is I think there was some lines we ad-libbed
Mm-hmm.
that got into the game. But no, I don't. From what I've seen of the cutscenes, everything that I said in those, or Sindri said in those cutscenes, are in the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was there any difficulties while playing the role of Sindri?
No, no. I mean, for the 2018 game, the challenge was to just, he's introduced as a comic relief and a little bit of a more artistic type than Brock is. So it wasn't a challenge, but just a joy to try to always find the humor in the situation and try to bring something fresh to everything. And then in this game, I felt a responsibility to really make that story arc work,
Mm-hmm.
not just from the beginning of God of War Ragnarok, but having a story arc that really started before 2018, before God of War, and follow it through so that what he goes through would be relatable to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this huge shift in him would, people could relate to it and understand it,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to, I guess the big worry would be is, you know, we don't buy it. We don't believe it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the character development of Sindri? How
Oh,
did you manage to master the role to this degree and amount of sadness and grief?
oh, I mean, like, that's a great question. I can't even answer it. I mean, I will, but
Mm-hmm.
um, Eric Williams and Matt Sophos and I went for lunch,
Mm-hmm.
and they told me what was coming, and it just punched me in the gut. First of all, I thought it was an incredible story.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited and honored that they were going to give Sindri the stuff. I didn't know, of course, this was all in the works anyway when we were doing the 2018 game in God of War.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, I don't know. There's you know the scenes in the game. There's the scene with my last scene with Brock where I I mean I read it once or twice, and then
You
I
mean
didn't want to
you mean the funeral scene?
know
Mm-hmm.
the death.
Uh-huh, okay.
when he's murdered. I didn't really want to look at it too much because it was just what it was. And then there were conversations about what they wanted and what I thought the story needed. You know, I knew that they told me that Sindri would take off his gloves. And I said, does he wash off the blood from his brother's death? And they said no. So that gave me an idea of where to go. And then they said he starts using Brock's hammer. And that gave me an idea where to go. And then they told me, they described the funeral scene and Mimir's last line. So I knew where he had to get to. And then after that, man, you know, you just, I mean, it's unbearable. I mean, think about this guy, apart from what happened in God of War and what happens before that with Brock dying the first time. Sindri and Brock have picked this place in this realm between the realms, the safest place you can have a house. He invites everybody in to keep them safe. And then his brother is murdered before his eyes with his own kitchen knife. I think the wonderful thing has been about is the people the fans and the gamers that have responded with their own stories of grief and loss and anger and rage. And just, I think the writers wrote such a human story of life and death that it was, I wouldn't say it was fun, but it was, I just felt I needed to follow the path to tell the story about what rage does. And when somebody is just
blinded by rage.
Oh, beautifully said. Beautifully said. He is absolutely blinded by rage. And everything is going on. Guilt, shame, rage, anger, betrayal, his own guilt with Brock, you know, kind of taking on Brock's posture and his mannerisms to try to power him through, because I think he knew exactly where he was going to go and what he was going to do.
Even I remember the last part when Kratos and Atreus visited him at the workshop. How did you prepare for that role, for that scene? I mean, I noticed in other videos that Christopher Judge got emotional in a few scenes. And so how did you prepare for that scene?
I mean, like I said, it just all starts with the writing. I just thought the writing was beautiful, and it was a very universal story that hopefully nobody ever has to go through. But, you know, I think it was important we're in this world and the themes are what's happening is so big, but you know, it's a story of family and loss. And I don't know. I mean, I know technically we set it up. We went through the motions. You know, Sunny Suljic was incredible in making all that motion work because of that single camera. I remember Chris, we all really wanted that scene to work.
And it worked.
And yeah, that was a draining day. A very important day, because everybody there, Matt and Eric and everybody, really wanted to tell this moment correctly, because it's the reveal of the arc. And I remember they just said, they didn't really say too much to me other than just go, we trust you, just go. And I don't think we did it very many times, but there's things I don't remember about it. I'd never heard Atreus's last line to Kratos when we were shooting it. And that one guts me. I thought we were his family too. And he says we were in the past tense, not we are. And that just gutted me.
It was beautifully written.
Yes, it was. And, you know, a lot of times as an actor, you want a couple things. You want great writing, you want a great directing and team narration team and animation team, cinematic team, and then you just want to be with great actors. And I just remember them both just being right there and it all being in their eyes. Sindri's, Sindri's pain and shock and grief was in their eyes. And plus, remember at the time, I think Sonny was around 14 or 15. And to be that angry at somebody that age, and in Sindri's blind rage, as you put it so beautifully, to be yelling at him as if he is an equal, as if he is a grown man, or Sindri is very childlike as well, yelling at him. That was, I applaud Sonny, because that for me was not easy to do, to unleash on a man who's just coming into his own, and I'm laying into him full bore. And I think that's just the pain of it. Sorry, go ahead.
I think actually Sonny did a great job, and he was nominated to on the Game Awards, and I hope he can get the award. But and I also want to congratulate you on God of War getting a nomination for the Game of the Year.
Yeah, well, I on behalf of an enormous amount of people, I say thank you for saying that. And yeah, it's tough. I think nominations are a wonderful thing, and after that, I don't know how you choose between two pieces of art. But I hope Chris and Sonny tie. And they have to give them both awards. That would be wonderful.
Okay, so are we going to see Adam in future video game projects?
Not as of yet. We will see, but nothing as of yet.
Nothing yet.
Nothing I can talk about. Anyway.
Okay. So a word for your fans in the Middle East.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here talking to you guys, and the people that have reached out through social media and just, said they love the game or congratulations. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I hope you would enjoy it. And a lot of people from Santa Monica Studios and Eric Williams and Matt Selfless and the entire acting team, we really wanted to work hard to give all of you something that you would really enjoy to play. So thank you.
Well, I think that's the end of the interview. Thank you, Adam, very much for your time. It was an honor talking to you.
An honor to talk to you too.
And I hope we can see you in person in the future.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
Thank you.
I would enjoy that.
Thank you, Adam.